Again, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us for our third installment of 2021 for Our Ladies Social Hours. My name is Jennifer Morgan. I'm the Hunter Education Coordinator with New Mexico Game and Fish. We are so excited to have all of you on board with us this evening. We have a great topic and a really great guest speaker with us this evening. She's extremely knowledgeable in all things turkey, so it's great to have her on board. And we lucked out actually to have her on board because she just returned from a turkey hunt. But I will not give any more away. I'll let her explain all of that in her presentation. But before we get started, I'd like to have the rest of the staff that are joining us this evening and helping me host this introduce themselves, and so I'll go to my right, left, Jessica, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, great to see so many faces. I hope everybody's enjoying this meeting platform versus the what were we doing before, webinar, so we couldn't see you. So it's great to see your faces. I'm the shooting program coordinator. I work out of our headquarters office in Santa Fe. I've been with the department for almost 8 years, and I'm excited to be here to talk turkey.
Okay, Tristiana.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tristiana Bickford. I'm the department's communications director, also based out of Santa Fe. And I hope everyone is getting this great weather. It's snowing at my house right now. It's absolutely beautiful out. So I hope you are all getting moisture as well. It looks like we have people from all over the states. So thank you very much. And Helen, I'm so glad to see you virtually. Hopefully we can meet in person this year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Megan.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Megan Otero. I'm the assistant coordinator for Hunter Education. I'm based out of the Albuquerque office. I've been with the department 11 years now, so it's been a little bit, but welcome everybody and hope you enjoy tonight.
Fantastic. And before I allow Helen to introduce herself and pass the baton off to her for the rest of the session, for those of you who might not be familiar with Zoom, you are welcome to have your cameras on if you want to participate that way, but you can leave it off if you'd like, if you feel more comfortable that way. Also, you will be on mute unless you have a question or a comment or would like to have us address something for you. You can unmute yourself at that time, turn your camera on. You can also utilize the chat for any questions, comments, or anything that you would like us to address or Helen to address as well during the session. So please don't be shy and don't hesitate to comment or put something in the chat, because we are here for you all this evening to get you more knowledgeable, more comfortable, more confident about turkey hunting, whether or not you're a newbie, beginner, to at the point where you haven't even shot your first shotgun yet, and to those of you who are maybe more seasoned hunters and are looking to maybe refine or refresh some of your techniques. This entire session will touch base on all those different levels. So don't hesitate to step up. This session is for you all. And so we want to make sure that we answer any questions that you might have or address any comments that you might have. So definitely utilize this session for your advantage for sure. So, but I am definitely looking forward to this. Pick up any last minute tips, because I definitely can use them, because I will be going on a hunt here in just a few days as well. So I'm super excited. So I'll be taking notes. So Helen, no pressure.
Where are you going?
I am going to be going to Texas to hunt Rios.
Rio, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. But I am still a newbie at all things turkey hunting. So everything I am all a sponge when it comes to this. So, but with that, I would like to introduce Helen Butt. She is with the New Mexico, or the National Wild Turkey Federation. And I will then let her introduce herself to the rest of the group. So take it away, Helen.
Thank you. It's so good to see so many familiar faces. like she said, I'm Helen Butt. I'm the Women in the Outdoors coordinator for the National Wild Turkey Federation. And a lot of these ladies that you see with the Game and Fish have helped me immensely for some of our events that we have. And I could not do it without them. They're so amazing. I actually, like she said, I just got back from Florida. I landed about probably 45 minutes ago. So I apologize that I'm in my truck and on my phone instead of at home in front of my computer. But we didn't think that my flight was going to be running late, and we had a layover in Dallas that was extended. So it put us behind a little bit, but nonetheless, I wasn't going to miss it. So I apologize for being where I'm at, but can you guys hear me okay? Can you see everybody good? Give me a thumbs up.
Yes, you sound good, Helen.
Okay. I was like, oh, did I lose everybody? Okay, no, we're good. So I'll just kind of jump right in. I don't know what everybody's level is. We usually host with the Wild Turkey Sportsman Association. We'll do an actual seminar here in the Southwest, but because of COVID, we're not able to do that this year. So virtual is really cool. And when they asked me to do this, I thought absolutely, it's my passion. It's what I love. I could probably talk turkey hunting forever. We'll still be here tonight. No, just kidding, we won't. Unless you guys want to still talk to me. I mean, I'm totally down for that. But I just got back from completing my so if you know a whole lot about turkey hunting or you don't, there's 4 species to get your Grand Slam, and it's your Rio, your Merriam's, your Osceola, and your Eastern. Here in New Mexico, we have the Merriam's turkey, and in some parts of New Mexico, the Rio. I know she said she's going to Texas, and they definitely have Rios down there. Oklahoma's got Rios. Florida, where I just got mine, is the only place that you can get the Osceola. So, and if you go on past that, they've got the Goulds. So that's your Grand Slam, and if you go for the Goulds, that gets your Royal Slam. And then if you go for your Osceolated, which is only in Mexico, that becomes your World Slam. Those are beautiful birds. Definitely a goal of mine to get those last 2 birds, but it'll be a while. So. And let's see what else. I'll just jump right into actual turkey season. Coming up in New Mexico, I know for youth season, it's around the April the, help me out guys, it's the 10th weekend for you?
Starts April
And then
9th.
our season, okay. And then our season is still back to April the 15th through May, like 10th or 11th? I
Correct.
don't have the clock. Okay, good. So what we usually do, you know, are we able to buy the turkey tags yet, or are we wait, or is it
Tomorrow.
I mean, for spring tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Countdown
Okay.
has started. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
All right. Well, good deal. So we're close. So yeah, so first things first, getting your hunting license. You know, make sure you got, if you put in for the draw or you're just going to try out for turkey first, definitely getting your license and, oh, thank you. There you go. And your turkey tag. So to get ready. My biggest thing and what I learned, I know she said she's like a sponge. I do that a lot when we're around the Wild Turkey Sportsman Association guys. I try to take in as much as I can from people who have turkey hunted. Like I'm still learning myself. I've done it for a while, but there isn't anything that, you know, if somebody's got a tip or a trick or, you know, something, especially out here in New Mexico. I know back east, you know, a lot of those other states, you know, a lot of them they're set up a whole lot different than New Mexico, where we're out there, you know, in the mountains. I always call it elk hunting for turkey because of the terrain out there. Same concept, you're calling them into you. So, but preseason scouting, I had one of those gentlemen from the Wild Turkey Sportsman Association. He put it the best when he said, don't ever expect to go out. I mean, unless you're just lucky, you know, I mean, luck has a whole lot to do with it, but you know, just I'm going to go turkey hunting this weekend and be successful, you know, doing your homework, kind of doing some preseason scouting. Right now would be a good time to go. Preseason scouting entails really just, you know, if you're familiar with any of your mountain areas, we go to Cloudcroft, this area. I don't hunt a whole lot up north. I have before taken somebody up there with another person that's from that area. But as far as season scouting, just kind of like getting out there, knowing your area, I would recommend everybody download like Basecamp, Onyx Hunt, or even have a Garmin. That's going to be really, because when you're out there trying to roost birds, you want to know where you heard them gobble when you go back to the next season when you're actually able to hunt them on April 15th. So what we normally do, and without just kind of like, I don't want to jump around, but what I normally do, we get out there in our mountainous area. Cloudcroft is where we go. I'll usually, I hit a locator call, and it's usually a crow call. You can use an owl call. I've never used an owl call, but I use, can you guys see that? Pretty good. You can get these at Sportsman's Warehouse, Walmart. And what we usually do, we get out there on some of those forest roads right about when it's about to get dark, like we call it when they're going to their bedroom, and flying up into the trees. Once they're up there, we usually just kind of drive, throw out a locator call. That's what they call this. I'll do one for you if you guys are okay with it. And we'll just, if they gobble back, that's a great sign. That's kind of like roosting them, and that's a good place to come back. If it's the night before when you guys are out there, they gobble back, that's a good place to start for the next day to get yourself set up. And that's really like, and even right now, they're probably gobbling. So, if you guys have time, if you just want to kind of go out there and preseason scout, call, see if you can get some gobbles to come back. The best thing, if you don't have a whole lot of calling experience, or you don't have somebody who can call for you, in all honesty, probably the best thing that I've used to get started is a box call. I don't know if you guys can see this. If you're beginning and you don't really, like, there's a box call, there's slate calls, there's mouth calls, which I'm just learning to mouth call with a diaphragm, and it's a cow elk call that I was just messing around with that actually came through, let's see if I have it. I was just messing around with a cow call and made it turkey call, and I've actually had luck with it. So, but a box call, you can go to Walmart, any sporting goods like Sportsman's Warehouse, Cabela's, and get a box call like this one and chalk it up really good. If you guys can see where I chalked it up pretty good. These are probably the best thing to just sit out there and just yelp, and it'll take a little bit. There's all kinds of videos out there where you can learn to call. I don't know if it'll come through very good, and I'm not gonna sit here and like teach you guys calling, but Nightingale is probably a good YouTube to look up. Michael Waddell has so many calling videos that you can look at. That's awesome. I don't know if anybody saw that. That's cool. Let's see, Nightingale. There's Primo's calls. And they all have, any call dealer will have pretty much videos on how to. YouTube is so amazing with turkey calls, and just really just getting this and mimicking what you hear. If you can ever just get out there and remember yelp, 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 that's basically all you're doing, is trying to make that call mimic what you're hearing the hen do. And the hen is, the one that's usually what's going to bring the gobble. And sometimes you can get a competitive gobbler out there, the tom, that some people, the only way they can bring them in is with a gobble, and they do have those. I have not been successful using a gobble, but some people that we hunted with this weekend, that's actually how he got his tom to come in, was with the gobble. So because they had hen called, and the gobble is actually, he was just like, okay, I've had enough of you, I'm gonna go and fight you. Like, he was basically headed over there to have a showdown with another tom, and well, anyway, it ended with the guy getting his tom. So
Hey, Helen.
yeah, go ahead.
So could you clarify for the group maybe what would be the best turkey call to start with if you're a beginner?
Yeah, definitely the box call. This one's probably the easiest one. And like I said, go on to any YouTube. You can get these box calls, like I said, anywhere, Walmart, sporting goods stores. If you know of, you can even get on Facebook and find, yeah, she's got YouTube videos too. Christy Titus is pretty amazing too. She uses diaphragm calls like crazy. I one day want to be like that to where I can use this diaphragm call. She's an elk calling fool too, by the way. But yeah, the box calls most definitely. The slate calls are really good. They take a little bit of kind of like a learning skill, and you can actually get on YouTube and see how to use those as well. But if you're a beginner, I definitely recommend a box call to get you started. They're easy, and like I said, just mimicking. If you can just keep listening to that video and mimicking what you hear, and a lot, like the National Wild Turkey Federation is actually right now doing a whole lot of seminars, Zooms and lives where they're going over different calls and stuff and tips and tricks. So that's another outlet for you guys to look at. Is there any questions before I keep going? You guys have any questions about calls or?
There's nothing in the chat yet.
Okay, all right, so we went over preseason scouting, your license, kind of where to hunt in your local area. And don't hesitate to, talk to your game and fish department too. They're there to go over different areas with you guys if you're not sure about a certain unit, or, because there are units that, when you buy your over-the-counter tag that some units that you can draw for. You guys already drew for the actual turkeys, right? The draw hunts.
Yes, those have already been drawn and issued, so those folks would already know if they did pull a draw tag in some of those wildlife areas or special entry areas, they would already be notified. One thing I want to build on what Helen's talking about is purchasing an over-counter turkey license in your tag, is that they do go on sale tomorrow. Be aware that if you want to purchase that license online, just allow for 14 days for that carcass tag to get to you, and just make sure that your current mailing address is up to date on your customer account. So when that tag is mailed, that it goes to your mailing address and not your physical address, because then you won't get it. So just allow those 14 days if you're going to purchase it online, or you can go to any licensed vendor in your community like Walmart or a sporting goods store, and you can purchase it directly from them, so you don't have to worry about that mail. Or you can e-tag. So there's some options there, but if you do want that paper carcass tag, allow 14 days for it to get to you.
I did share in the chat the link for our online license sales, and I'll do it again at the end, but it's there now.
Thanks, Jess.
And then choose your weapon. For more experience, if you guys have turkey hunted before, I have not. I know we have an archery season where we can shoot turkey in September, and then they've got the fall turkey. That's really cool about New Mexico is we have actually 3 opportunities to get some turkeys in one year, calendar year. So you've got your spring turkey season where you can get, I believe it's 2 toms. You can get in September, it's archery, and it's like an either or, right, guys? It's just it's either a hen or a tom for that September hunt for archery, and then fall you can do the either or, the tom or the hen. I have always used a shotgun. I actually probably all of my birds except for one I've shot with a youth 20 gauge Charles Daly. I've had so many people go, "You ain't gonna shoot no turkeys with that." Yeah, I did. Probably almost all of my birds for my slam I've done with a youth 20 gauge Charles Daly. So big thing is, if you're gonna use a shotgun, is your ammo that you're gonna use, pattern your shotgun ahead of time. We're actually partnering with the Wild Turkey Sportsman Association. If there's anybody who's down south, we're going to be patterning our shotguns this Sunday out at the Butterfield shooting range. And when I say pattern your shotgun, we're basically going to get out there and see, it helps you with your choke, which is the mechanism as to where, like, some people have a turkey choke, some people have a modified choke, and what that is just how the BBs are going to come out with your shotgun. And we usually will. Do you want me to answer that?
We can address it here in just a second. Go ahead and finish what you're saying.
Okay, that's fine. So basically what we'll do, we'll set up a target for 20 yards, 30 yards, and 40 yards, and it's got a turkey head on it. And it's kind of just like a regular target, but in the middle is a turkey head. And what we're trying to do is see when they shoot the bird load, what the pattern looks like when it comes out. So the tighter the choke, the tighter the pattern goes. And if you guys have shot shotguns before, you know that the further out it goes, the more the BBs spread. So and really, you know, to kill a turkey, you only need a couple of BBs to get in their head, and that's the place that you really want to kind of put your bead on, like between their neck and their head, to make sure you get a good shot. A body shot, they're kind of resilient and tough birds. You know, a body shot, it happens. Some people shoot a little bit low, but really your main focus is to make sure that that bead, or that some people have a sight on their shotgun nowadays, a little red dot sight that it's kind of between the neck and the head to get a good shot, so that those BBs get in there. And it doesn't take many. I mean, you know, just depending on where that BB goes, it'll do the trick, and it'll get that turkey down.
So Helen, since
go ahead.
since you are on method of taking a turkey, we do have a question in the chat that's asking about Tabitha was asking about getting her daughter started with archery hunting with for turkey, and they've never hunted before. She's 13. So any tips or pointers on archery hunting for turkey?
So I have yet to actually get out there and archery hunt a turkey. I know there are places, like you can actually look online as far as, and I know when we do 3D shoots for archery, we have one of the 3D targets out there that is a turkey, and it'll tell you exactly where on the bird that you're going to be able to get that shot. They do move fast. It is a small target. It's just going to be owning up to that precise and precision shot when you're out there with that bow and arrow. You know, I've seen people, you know, those turkeys, I don't know if you've ever watched them, but they're pretty fast. You know, you're going to pull back, you're going to let go, and you either need to get it, you know, right there in the neck, or, you know, in the kill shot where kind of like the wing is, where the heart is. I have not taken that. I think my biggest thing is opportunity is so, I mean, maybe Texas for a reel, Oklahoma for a reel, back to East for an Eastern when you're in a blind and you have several days because the way they come, you know, kind of to decoys or to a food plot or what have you, and it's a little bit easier to take that opportunity with the bow. But here in New Mexico, I haven't done it yet, just because, you know, sometimes when you get that turkey actually to come in after all of the work that you've done out here in this terrain, it's unless you're able to put up a blind somewhere, it's a little bit, to me, it's a little bit difficult to archery hunt a turkey, but I want to do it. So this will be my first year trying it with, I've done it with 20 gauges and I've done it with a 12 gauge, but I'm just a little hesitant with turkey with archery, just because of opportunity. I think, like I said, if it was where I knew we were going to be out there probably several days, like we were in Florida, and, you know, the opportunities to have them come in each day, or maybe, you know, several times a day, then I would definitely take that. Yeah, exactly. They have amazing eyesight too. So that's another thing. If you're in a blind, you can kind of pull back a little bit easier, you know, without them seeing you. But I mean, they literally, like, they can see your eyeballs moving. I always say if they could smell, we would be in trouble and probably not be able to. I mean, if they could smell, they, like kind of how elk do, we probably wouldn't be able to hunt them as easy. They have great hearing. A lot of times if it's windy, they won't get out there because they can't hear their predators, so it's a little bit harder to hunt them. Their eyesight's amazing. And that's another thing, you know, your camo is going to be a big thing if you're not going to be in a blind. And even if you are in a blind, I still tell people, you know, everybody's sick of wearing masks, right? But turkey hunting kind of gotta, because this one's a full on, like, if you look, it only has like your eyes and your nose that would go out. Kind of cool. I have a Sitka like top that has a built-in turkey mask, so it's kind of cool. And then I wear a ball cap, so really all that's exposed is my eyes. A lot of people will wear face paint, and then that's cool too if you know how to do that. I don't. I usually just wear a mask. You can get these at Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, Sportsman's Warehouse, Cabela's. You can order them online. They do half masks, they do full masks. So your camo, you know, they see patterns kind of like any other animal does, but like I've been told they can even see the whites of your eyes. So if they're moving, you know, just any movement. That's why really if you got to be kind of quick and make sure you got your shot for. It's just a lot of movement if you're going to do archery. I hope that answers her question.
Yeah, concealment is everything with turkey for sure. So the next question we kind of have while we're on equipment is Elizabeth was asking what shot or load is recommended for a 20 gauge shotgun.
So I did the 3.5-inch shells. I think I have that. Let me show you. You guys see what I'm talking about? I did the 20 gauge. Now, if you're gonna be out there just patterning your shotgun, you don't want to take a turkey load, or at least not more than one time. Anyway, I do the heavy shot. You can get Remington. Really just and when you go out to pattern your shotgun, I wish I could take all of you with me. I thought I had a box of shells up here to show you guys. But if you're going out to, and you can even ask your sporting goods store, just tell them what kind of gun you have. I don't know what gun you're going to be using, but that's what I usually use is the 20 gauge, kind of the heavy shot 3.5-inch shells for mine. And it would probably be a good idea to go to like Sportsman's Warehouse, Cabela's, let them know what kind of gun you're going to be shooting and see what the recommended load is, because some of them are, they got to pack to their punch. That's why we recommend when you go to pattern your shotgun to use a bird load, because you're still kind of seeing what the pattern's going to be, but it's not going to have as much kick. Does that answer?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. After the harvest, like say you guys are successful in getting your bird, a lot of people, that's their next big thing. Turkey meat is pretty amazing if you know how to fix it. I think the first time we did a wild turkey, we did it Thanksgiving style, and I wasn't a fan of it, but the National Wild Turkey Federation actually has a lot of recipes, and they did a beer battered turkey nugget that I did that was really good with one of my birds. And then one of our women in the outdoors, and I think Tristana, you guys may have been there for this one, or maybe Jessica, you guys were there when we smoked my Tennessee Eastern. I don't know if you guys got to taste it, but that was phenomenal. They did a brine, and then they smoked the turkey, and it was great. So, and I know they don't have a whole lot of meat on them, but if you're just wanting to breast them out, if you don't want to do the whole kind of butterball looking thing, there's my favorite YouTube video out there. For as far as, we've done it a lot in the field, but if you're out there and you're like, oh great, I just shot my bird, now what do I do? Yay, that's awesome. Yeah, now the hard work begins. But what you can do is, Michael Waddell has probably one of the best videos out there, and he just shot a bird, and he's got the ATV out there, and he literally does it right there on the ATV, the hood of the ATV, and it's so simple, so easy. Shows you how to breast it out if you're just going to do breast, shows you how to get your spurs off there, shows you how to get your beard, and shows you how to get your fan so that you can get your turkey fan mounted if you're not going to do a full mount. So, what was the field dressing question? Was that which?
Oh, I was just popping up the name of the YouTube video to go to Michael Waddell for the turkey field dressing video.
And yeah, if you just even just type it in, Michael Waddell field dressing a turkey, that's the one that comes up, and it's very popular. He's pretty amazing. He's done this a lot. We've met him a few times at convention. He's a great guy. He'll sit there, and he's like me. He could talk turkey 24/7. So, and he's full of knowledge too. You can totally ask him questions and such, but great videos. He's got a lot of those. Nightingale has a lot of videos. The National Wild Turkey Federation, there's quite a few. There's a lot of resources on there, especially for a lot of beginners. You guys can actually go to that website. if we're able to, we do teach a lot of this at our Women in the Outdoors event. We do turkey hunting, turkey calling, pretty much field dressing. We cover a lot of that every August. I don't know if we're going to be able to have it this year. I'm hoping so. It's going to really depend on what the governor does. The NWCF is kind of waiting. They'll go on whatever the governor mandates. So I don't know what color we're at right now. Are we still at yellow? Does anybody know?
It depends on which county you reside in. You could
As
be
do I.
any color.
Turquoise is what we're going for, right?
Or no
So,
color. That'd be
yeah.
ideal.
Anything other than red, I know. So that event is every August. All of the New Mexico game and fish ladies are phenomenal. I'm trying to recruit Jennifer. Like, she still hasn't came to help us out, but I'm gonna make her.
If we don't have hunter ed camps at the same time, I will definitely want to be there.
That would be so awesome. And you know, it's just such a good camp. I mean, I wish I could host a youth camp that's similar. I've been trying to get one off the ground, like a kind of a youth turkey camp, because I love, you know, even if I'm not out there turkey hunting, every year I offer to take somebody, you know, somebody who either hasn't ever hunted. And turkeys are probably one of the easiest and best, not easiest, it depends on where you are, I gotta backtrack, but best ways to learn to hunt. Because, you know, I know there's some people that'll be like, oh, I could never shoot a deer. You could shoot a turkey. They're not, they're ugly. The fans are pretty, but yeah, you don't have that same like heart spot as you do for, you know, maybe a deer or whatever. But it's a good animal to learn to hunt on.
So Helen, while you're talking about equipment, I noticed in some of your notes, there's some additional equipment that might be handy for somebody to take with them other than their ammunition, camo, and their shotgun, and maybe
Yeah,
a
and
call.
I had put that originally in my list. So what you'll definitely want to take with you, always make sure that you have your tag on your person. Like, you can't say I left it at the truck. You can't say, you know, here I have it on my phone. What have you? Have it on your person. Make sure you have your license on you. Just follow those kind of rules. A Garmin would be good, or maybe make sure you have your Onyx Hunt downloaded. That way, because you know you don't want to get on the turkeys are notorious to be on private land, and that's not where you want to end up. You want to make sure you're on public lands unless you have permission. So I always take a backpack. Make sure you've got water. Make sure you've got snacks. You know, we stay out there. Usually if we're out there for the day, we're propped up against a tree. You know, mountain naps are probably the best out there. But make sure you take, so your calls, you know, your phone, or a Garmin, shotgun, ammo, masks. Make sure you're, you know, in your camo if you're taking out a hunting blind.
What typically is the range that you shoot them at, Helen? Is it close in? Is it out to 40 yards? You know, for rangefinders.
So those, like when you're patterning your shotgun, that'll kind of give you a good idea of what kind of range you're looking at. The further the BBs go, you know, obviously it's going to be a little bit harder once they get further out for the BBs to hit the turkey. So the closer is kind of better. The farthest I've shot a turkey was 53 yards with a 12 gauge, and with my 20, I would not take that. I would not take that. That's kind of like even archery. You know, if you're not comfortable taking a shot past 30 yards, you're probably not going to want to take that kind of a shot even at a turkey, just because, you know, the farther away, it's just, you don't want to miss, and you don't want to injure a bird either. So, and that's what you risk taking that farther shot, is injuring the bird. And like I said, you don't want to do that either. Getting them up close, I kind of laugh. I'm like, I like them so close I can smell their breath, because, you know, that's close, and you're gonna have a good opportunity to get a shot at them. So 10 yards, I think the one that I got on Saturday was about 10 yards away. He just came running in. I mean, running. They had a decoy out there, and that usually, like a decoy, if here in New Mexico, you can do decoys. And decoy means it's going to be like a replica of either a hen or a tom, or even a jake, and it kind of it sparks the bird's interest to come and see what's going on. So that's what they use. They came running in, and I actually got it at at about 10 yards. And like there was a gal with me with a youth 20 gauge as well, and she got hers probably about 35, 40 yards away, and it still got him. So anything past that with a 20 gauge, I probably wouldn't do that though.
And Helen, we have a really good question that just came through from Jesse in regards to what do you recommend on a use of a decoy, a hen or a tom, or maybe a combination of?
So the setups that I usually see are a combination of both. What the tom is going to see when he comes in, if he sees a hen and a tom, is he wants to. Their big thing is competition. They want to be the alpha male or what have you. So they're going to want to come in and basically fight with the tom for the hen that's over there. Sometimes I'll go straight to the hen and be like, well, I'm going to go to her regardless if you're there. But a lot of times they'll go and you'll see them. You can even see videos on YouTube and such where they're going after the tom. They'll sit there and fight them. And just when you get a chance, just take that shot when. And I always say, make sure their tail fan is down when, because they'll strut and kind of put on a show for you guys, even if they're close, but make sure their tail feathers come down and, maybe make a or, a purr sound, or just kind of like click your box call or something, like I did, and just to get them to kind of perk their head up and then take that shot, because you don't want to shoot that fan, because that's going to be your little memento of your turkey hunt when you go and get the fan mount done. It's absolutely gorgeous. Any other questions?
Helen, I'm wondering, can you walk me through a hunt? So like if I go out the night before and I kind of do a call and have a basic idea of where the turkey are located, then
Yeah, so when we were, like I said,
go ahead.
yeah, sure. So like I said, when you're roosting a bird, when you're going out, like, wherever you're going to go for your forestry area, or, I'm not saying so much like back east or something. If you're in New Mexico and you're going to New Mexico hunt, definitely get out there on those forest roads. When, like I told you guys, when that night before, get out there and crow call or owl call. And that's the best way to get a gobble, to find out where you're going to go. You're not going to get it by driving around. It doesn't work like that. You got to put the legwork in. What we've actually done, we've gone out at, like, you can even do it in the early mornings. And I recommend you definitely the next morning hit a crow call and see if you're still going to get that same gobble back. And a lot of times, it's all depending on like the date, the time of the day. The best hunt is always in the morning, I say. I mean, I've killed a bird at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon before, but we had to work it. Now, the mornings, they come down out of that tree, and that's probably the first thing they're going to do if they don't have a whole lot of hens with them, is go after the, they're going to hear that hen, and that's their mating season. So that's the sound they're attracted to. So if you get out there that evening and you crow call and get it to gobble back that night, you're roosting them, then that's where you got to go back the next morning. Do it again, like right before sunup. Hit it again, they'll gobble. If it's right there at the cusp of daylight, they'll gobble back. And then it's going to get intense, and they'll actually, and I'd love to do a whole session on calling, or have someone here to be going over each and every call for you guys. That's why we don't have a whole lot of time. That's why I said go YouTube some of these calls. Every call means something. So you got your locator call, and then you're done. I wouldn't do that again unless you're just going to another spot to see if you can get another gobble. If you get a gobble, try to get, as close as you can to where you heard that gobble. Get out there that morning, get set up, park yourself up against a tree, full camo. My stance and position, and if I could show you guys, I usually just kind of back up against a tree, put my knees up. If the gobble is getting closer, be ready. The last thing you want to do is not have your gun up and ready, or if you're going to do bow and arrow, you just got to make sure that your movement's going to be very minimal until it's go time. But that's what I do. Park up against the tree, get my back up there, get comfortable, put my knees up, get my gun in position, because you'll know if you have somebody calling for you and they're doing a hen call, it gets closer, it gets intense, it gets louder. I always say less is more. Like if you're out there calling, don't overcall. I went with somebody last year that was new at it, and all they wanted to do was just keep calling. And turkeys, they're not stupid. If it doesn't sound right, or normal, they won't come. They'll hush and not come anymore. They won't gobble. But if you do a little bit, you can kind of hit a little bit of a yelp, that yelp, 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 and you hear a gobble. Wait a little bit. I always say, don't keep calling, don't overcall, and then he'll talk to you, you'll talk to him. He'll talk to you, you'll talk to him. And you can also just kind of wait. I've stopped. I called in a bird for a gal, and I totally stopped and was just kind of sitting there, and he didn't even gobble. He just kind of like showed up and picked his head up. Like, he didn't even give me a warning sign that he was even close. He just like kind of was like, he just shot up. So that happens a lot too. So it's just going to be a lot of trial and error. If you guys, I'm totally down to, if you guys want to, take down my email. We've got the Facebook page, the Women in the Outdoors page. You want to talk more about different calling techniques or what have you, and have a little bit more time, maybe one-on-one, I don't mind at all. We can, find a way to FaceTime or what have you. But YouTube is probably one of the best ways to get out there and just really listen to those calls and mimic them as much as you can.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
Helen, we've got oh, go ahead,
Well,
Tristina.
I had one follow-up question. So, well, I have several, but that one. So when I go to pick my tree that I'm going to sit under, am I going to sit right under the roost, or about 20 yards from the roost, or how close do I want to be?
So here's the thing, you don't really ever know, unless you roosted those birds and you watched them fly into that tree. I have had one instance where I was parked up against the tree and they literally were in the tree next to me and came down. That'll get your heart going, because you didn't realize that that's how close they were, and that they were in, a tree really close. You hear stories of that all the time. Other than that, usually when you roost them, they'll be up in those trees. They'll come down. You'll hear them. You can sometimes hear them fly down just if you're that close, if you got that close when you were roosting them. But unless you watch them fly up into that tree and those are the trees that they went into, you're not going to know. You're basically going to just hear them gobble. The key and the trick is, the louder you hear that call and the closer that you know that it's getting, if you got pretty good hearing and you can hear it getting louder, that means they're coming. And that means you got to get in position and park your booty up against the tree and get ready. Like, bring your knees up, put that gun in place, and literally just wait, because once it's getting louder and closer and intense, that it's almost go time. You just got to be ready. And then take that shot when they're close enough to you that you're comfortable taking that shot. If they're a little bit far away and you don't have a way to call, or maybe you're by yourself and nobody's calling for you, and they're hung up, it's really going to be your call to put your gun down and call. Or sometimes they make one that you can have in your hand. There's some other little calls where you can just kind of push the button and it's right up against your gun, to try to get them to come in a little bit closer. But really, just if they're coming in, even if, like I said, I stopped calling, I called for a little bit, stopped, and he just quietly showed up. He didn't even gobble and let me know he was there. So, and Melissa got to take the shot. She actually shot and missed, but it was a good experience. It was really neat. It's exciting nonetheless. It's disheartening if you shoot and miss a bird, but it's exciting. It's experience.
And it's all part of hunting too. We always learn from our failures and move on to the next setup. So while you're on roosting, Helen, we had another question from Jesse that was asking about if turkeys leave a roost and they're spooked, or they spot you while you're trying to locate, will they leave the roost?
It takes a lot to booger a turkey for good. If they're, a lot of times, if that's where they're used to, because turkeys are creatures of habit, they'll usually come back unless something has really spooked them, usually animals. People walk through the forest all the time that aren't even there to turkey hunt, so they probably spook them a lot, but it doesn't mean that they're going to leave forever. And a lot of times they do make full circle. If you spooked them, if you kind of wait it out, a lot of them will kind of come back around. They'll circle back, is what they call that. So and don't give up. A lot of people, they'll be like, oh, they just saw me and they took off running, and so they give up. If you have another spot to go to, that's fine, but don't be discouraged. They'll always come back. Like I said, they're creatures of habit. If there's water, their habitat is just huge. If there's water, food, they got their their roosting site, if there's nothing that's been bothering them, they'll come back. That's usually where they'll stay. We've got birds that we can still go to the same time, that are usually always in that area. And that's another thing. If you guys are preseason scouting and you buy, you know, when I tell you guys to do your homework, if you get a trail camera, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to leave it out there. If it's an area that you're okay with, you know, putting that camera out, I did that this fall, and I put out a trail camera because I had seen where the birds were roosting, and I just wanted to see what their activity was like in the fall. And I found, they call it a game trail, and like everything was showing up, like walking on that game trail. I had turkeys on there, and that's how I knew where to set up. So it was an opening day, but it was the second day when I got my fall bird that I knew they were coming. Now the time change kind of messed me up on the first day. I missed them by 15 minutes because we fell back that weekend, and I knew according to the trail camera what time they were coming, but I got out there just on what the new time change was, and I missed them by 15 minutes because I didn't do the math. Like, oh, you know, it was a whole hour ago. I missed them. But so the next morning, I was like, okay, well, if it was 7 then when they were showing up on the camera, then I need to be out there at 6 o'clock in the morning. And sure enough, you know, they were coming straight down that game trail, and I was able to get me a hen this fall. So that was pretty neat. I'd never gotten a fall bird before, so to do your homework and to actually, you know, follow through like that, that's really cool. If you guys do that, I mean, and everybody can do that. You know, it's just a matter of how much time you want to get in there. A lot of people will go out thinking we're gonna go turkey hunting this weekend, and really, if you don't know where to go, you're just gonna be, you know, maybe you can look out. I don't know. I haven't had that kind of luck before, so doing your homework is key.
So Helen, also in the chat, Hillary asked a question about during the day, do you camp out all day in the same spot, or do you kind of move around if you're not really getting a bird to respond to you?
If you're not getting anything when even you go out there and you're, you know, if you got out there that morning, we've had a lot of times where we roosted them the night before and they're just kind of quiet the next morning. The wind has a lot to do with it. Turkeys don't like wind at all, especially our birds, at least not the ones that we've had up there. And don't be afraid to, you know, it was late season. Here's a good example. We took my son. I went with one of our friends from the Wild Turkey Sportsman Association. It was the last 2 days of the season. Remember, late season's kind of difficult. They're already, you know, they've done made it all they want to, and they're kind of climbing up. But we got out there and we would walk and hen call and walk and hen call. And we did this for a while, and believe it or not, we got a gobble, like just walking through there, walking and hen calling. It was go time. He was getting closer. You know, Hunter, my boy, got up there up against a tree, and he actually, we had a Jeb's choke in his 12 gauge that, and I don't, you guys, I had time to teach you guys about chokes. It was a very tight choke pattern. It came out literally like a Coke can. That's how tight it was. So having a bird come in really close when you have a tighter choke pattern isn't good all the time, because he literally shot clean over the bird at 25 yards. So had it been a little bit further, you probably would have got it, or maybe if we didn't have such a tight choke in there, you know, having him that close with something not so tight would have got him. But it was late season, and that's what we did. Walked, called, finally got a gobble. We heard it getting closer. He called a little bit more, heard it getting closer, and he's like, it's go time, he's coming closer. And he actually had 2 hens with him, so just curiosity. Those birds they're notorious for, even if they have hens with them, they're gonna go looking for something else. Or sometimes the hens will go off to lay eggs, and Tom still wants some action. What was that question?
The last question from Alicia, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Do the same shooting hours apply for turkey hunting? And that is correct. It is half an hour before sunrise to half an hour after sunset, and that goes for any game animal.
Right.
Yeah. So a couple of things too, Helen, that I'd like for you to touch on, because you kind of did earlier when you're talking about field dressing and taking care of the carcass after, you know, for the harvest, is what to do with the beard and the spur and the feathers.
Oh, okay. So what they can do, if you don't have a place that's going to do the taxidermy, or if you're going to do it yourself, the best thing to do is either get some borax. What I usually do, or if you only have like table salt where you're at, I know we were, the camp that we were at, they didn't have any borax, but we had table salt. So what we did is you can spread the fan out. We usually put it on a piece of cardboard. Where that flesh is, you can't pull all of it off. And I wish I could show you guys mine, but salt it really good. It needs to dry out a little bit. Let me back up just a little bit. When you actually get your bird and you've watched how to field dress it, and you're getting ready to transport it until you can get it to somewhere we can do all this, really just getting it dried out with some salt on that flesh area is what's going to be the key to making sure that you have a good fan. You'll do it at the tip of the beard, and the spurs not so much. If you're some people don't really even care about the spurs. Some people are diehard. Spurs are those little, they have like little hooks on the end of their feet, and that's actually what they fight with. So if they're fighting with each other, sometimes they can draw blood with each other because they're like, you'll see them fly up if you watch videos of them spurring each other. It's kind of crazy. But here, I've actually, my first Merriam didn't have really any. They had nubs, but it's because of the terrain that they were in. It was real rocky out there, so their spurs weren't a big deal. But back east, those people are like diehard. Well, he had 2-inch spurs, or a 10-inch beard, and some people, if you're a diehard turkey hunter and that's what you're going for is the record. There's deer have the record, antlers or elk or whatever. I got a 6x. Well, that's the turkey thing in turkey world is the spurs and the length of the beard. So, and that's another thing we should probably cover too is when you're shooting your 2 toms this year, you got to make sure that there is a visible beard. There are jakes, which are the younger ones. Some of them it's and there are actually bearded hens. Oddly enough, there is going to be a hen out there that has a beard. I don't know why. It's just fluke of where's Casey Cardinal? She could probably tell us the biology side of that. But yeah, there are bearded hens out there. But yeah, make sure it's a visible beard. And
Yep, to add on what Helen's talking about, for those of you ladies who aren't really too sure about that bag limit, and I did put it in the chat, but for the spring turkey season, it's you can harvest up to 2 birds, but they have to have a visible beard. And so don't freak out if you end up walking up to your bird and it's a hen. As long as it has that visible beard, then you are perfectly legal to take that bird. So as long as it has a visible beard for your harvest, you're perfectly fine. And then of course for fall turkey, it's any one bird. So it can be a hen, it can be a jake, it can be a tom. You don't have to worry about the beard for that fall season. So if you get one bird in the spring and you didn't tag out, then you can go back out in the fall and fill your fall turkey tag. So one of the things that I want to point out too, Helen, and you can also elaborate on this, is, and this is just personal experience because the first time I shot a bird, you get excited and you can see it out there still flopping around, but you do have to be cautious about approaching that bird because of those spurs. And yes. Turkeys are big, and those wings, they are powerful, and I didn't really realize that. So,
yeah, the best thing to do if you know you've got a good shot on a bird, and they start flopping, because that's the first thing that they'll start doing, and it's notorious. They'll flop like crazy. I've seen some people go out there and they'll grab them and they get cut up. Like, you cannot grab it until they've actually stopped flopping. It's probably not a good idea to grab them because those spurs can cut you up, especially back east for the sharper ones. Here, I mean, I would be wary. I wouldn't until you actually know that, and you'll know because you'll get up there and usually their heads are completely red from the good shot or whatever. They'll flop just for a little while, and that's normal. It happens. I mean, you can shoot one, a 1 shot, 1 kill. I've seen, I've actually done that before, but their natural body movement after they get hit in the head, their body takes a little bit to expire, so it's going to flop for a little bit sometimes, and you just got to be careful. I would wait and kind of, like even Saturday when I got mine, he flopped for a while, and we just sat there and let him flop, and he just, you'll know, and it looks like their head is just weighted in the ground when they're flopping. You know you got a good hit on it. When they get up and go, that's when you know you didn't. And it's okay if you can to, reload and try to get it again if you think you got a bad shot on it. Because some of them, we've seen them get up and take off. That's another thing. We've seen them take off and run with people's arrows in them too. So shot placement is huge. Always aim for the head. Always aim for the head.
Great. Does anybody, that pretty much takes care of everything in the chat so far. Oh, there one just popped up. Are you able to get a spring and fall license, or are you limited to one season? So you can, and Tristana and Megan or Jessica, you can, and Megan, since you're also in law enforcement, you can elaborate on this as well. But you can have up to 2 opportunities, 2 seasons to harvest a bird. But Megan, I'll let you elaborate on that one a little bit more.
Yeah, let's see. I'm just pulling up the reg for us. Let's see. I haven't had that one in a while. But yeah,
so I was just
it's 2
researching
different
that because I was
seasons.
wondering it.
And while she's looking that up, you guys make sure, I don't know if you've tagged out anything before, but watch your laws on, and especially like your sticker and how to place your tag on your turkey's foot and that kind of thing. Are you guys going for your e-tag? I haven't explored it a whole lot. Do they just take a photo of it? Like, what's the e-tag process with a tagged bird?
So it's real simple, and we can actually put a link in the chat to a quick little video that Tristana did also with e-tagging. And but it's really simple. I used it actually last month on an oryx hunt, and it's really easy. You just download the app. When you purchase your license, you select e-tagging option. Just make sure that the app is open on your hunt. That way, if you're out of cell phone service, you can still tag your animal and you don't have to have cell phone service at that time. But it's really, really easy. Don't let it scare you like, oh my gosh, it's e-tag and I'm not gonna be able to do this. What you will do though is what you have to have, because you don't have that paper or that plastic sticky tag, is you take the information from the app, from your license, and then when you harvest, you write that information down on some, and what I like to use is either duct tape or surveyor's tape. You can write that, your hunt information, your name, your tag, your license number, and then it'll give you an e-tag number, and you write all that, and then you tie it onto the leg of the turkey, and you're done. It's really, really simple. But just have a pen or either some duct tape or that surveyor's tape is what I like to use, because it's multi-purpose. I can use it for blood trailing an animal, and then I can also use it for e-tagging. So it's really easy. You can use a ballpoint pen and then rip it off and tag your animal. So it's really easy. I am still kind of a paper person too, so I do like to have that paper carcass tag. And what's really nice, and whether you go with a paper option or the e-tag option, there are instructions that tell you how to do it as well. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I got this and I don't know what to do with it. There's instructions on how to do it as well. And I do believe that if somebody could put that, Tristana just did the e-tag video. It's up there, and it's a real quick watch, and it gives you all the information on how to do that e-tagging, but it's really convenient. So Megan, were you able to get that clarified on the turkey?
I believe that because it is 2 different seasons and there's different bag limits that you can. I'm looking it up right now, but I believe because it is 2 different seasons with 2 different licenses that you can.
You're correct, Megan. I was talking with Casey Cardinal a couple of weeks ago about it. So you can hunt in the spring and hunt 2 or harvest 2 bearded turkey, and then in the fall you can get another license for 1 turkey.
So total, you can harvest 3 birds in 1 year.
Yes.
In New Mexico.
Yeah.
But you have to have 2 different licenses.
Yes.
That's important. You have to have 2 licenses, a spring and a fall.
Perfect. Awesome.
You guys can put my my email, even phone number. As long as you guys text me, I don't mind answering anybody's questions. I'm not the expert, but I have such a huge passion for turkey hunting. It's what I love to get ladies started on. We have the Women in the Outdoors Facebook page. If you go to the, I don't know if anybody could type that in. Does anybody have it handy?
I shared the Facebook page a little while ago.
Okay, the
chat.
Women in the Outdoors.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys can ask us questions there. Again, this Sunday we're going to be patterning shotguns at the Butterfield Range for any of you ladies that are here, local, I guess, kind of in the Southwest area. I know we have somebody driving from Albuquerque because they want to do this. By all means, we welcome that as well. But the WIDO event hopefully will be this August, and we'll go over a whole lot more of this stuff in depth. There's a lot of and it's not just to learn hunting skills, turkey skills, elk hunting, how to cook with wild game, but it's a good way to meet other ladies to go hunting with. The lady that I went hunting in Florida with, I actually met her at WIDO. She was a camper the first year. She came back to teach a class the second year, and is actually my little sidekick for WIDO every year. Her name is Lisa. And she got a bird. She went hunting. She has never hunted in her life and has just taken off like crazy. She is a hunting fool. So it's a great place to meet other ladies. We try to do a lot of events, even with the Game and Fish, to get you guys out there, you ladies, to bond together, and it's just great friendships come out of it. We talk to, there's just such a good, and then in those groups that we have, those ladies they all, they love each other. They leave best friends. It's a great way to get together and hunt together and learn together.
Great. Yeah, because Helen, we had a lot of folks that were in this group that were really, really interested in trying to meet other women and other people in their communities or in the state that they can team up with and have that hunting relationship or hunting buddy and foster that. So I think that through this platform and through WIDO and some of the other things that are available, hopefully in the upcoming year, that you ladies can get to know one another and start making that. And that's what we're really trying to do with these, is it's just create that social networking, so you guys can feel comfortable with reaching out to somebody in a group and saying, hey, I'm really interested in turkey hunting, let's go. Or I know a couple of social hours ago, we talked about ice fishing, and Caitlin was very open to saying, hey, if you're interested in ice fishing, let me know. Maybe, when it's safe, we can meet out on the ice and I can show you how to ice fish. So this is a really great group that is so willing to give back knowledge and traditions and get you guys out in the field, because we all enjoy it so much. We want to see you all out there as well, whether you're a newbie or maybe reactivating as a hunter, or picking this up as a family, or just gaining more skills if you're a more seasoned hunter. So
that's what I was going to say. Mentoring is a big deal. I mean, like I said, I'm not the best, I'm not the most expert at it, but I love seeing someone else harvest something or be out there experiencing it just as much as myself. So if you're a more experienced hunter, I encourage you to mentor someone. If once you get comfortable in that level, it's always great to take a youth or another lady out. And then if you guys go out together, just practice safety measures and enjoy. There's so much to learn, so much to love, so much to do. In a lot of these groups, and I thank you guys for having this, social hour. It's really, it's awesome. It's great. It's a good way to find some girlfriends, some hunting buddies, some BFFs.
Yeah, most definitely. And we also want everybody in the group this evening, or for those that might be joining us on viewing YouTube later on, is that we are a resource to everybody. So at some point in time after tonight, and you're like, man, I wish I would have asked that while I was on session with everybody, don't hesitate to reach out to any member of our staff. Casey Cardinal is our upland bird biologist. She's an awesome resource for turkey and quail. Quail is her passion, but you can always reach out to us. I noticed that we did get Helen's email address in the chat, so make sure you copy that down. I know Helen is always wanting to give back of her knowledge and her time. She's a great resource, so utilize her to the full extent possible. And the other thing is that Jessica did put something in the chat too that we want to bring your attention to, is there is actually a turkey hunt that you guys can register for to win through Shoot Like a Girl. You click on this. This is a really cool opportunity. Beginners, you know, whoever you are, get in and enter for this opportunity. I think registration for this opened a couple of days ago, and it closes in a week or two, I believe. So
Yeah, so it opened March 19th and it closes April 5th. So
gives you a little time.
yeah, you got a little time. There is they want a brief essay, and only 500 characters. So that's not 500 words, that's characters. And so that's a pretty brief essay. Why you or your person you're nominated should be selected. And this is partnered with Beretta. I don't know what the prize package all contains, but there will probably be some Beretta swag involved. We could cross our fingers that there's a shotgun, but I don't know that for sure.
Most definitely. So yeah, that seems like a really cool opportunity. So check it out. And if it's something that you would, I mean, you won't win if you don't try, right? So definitely get entered into that if you have the time to put together 500 words or characters. And it sounds like a really awesome opportunity and a great opportunity to learn as well if you are the lucky recipient. So that's a super cool thing. Tristana also put out there that we like these sessions to be run by you all, and what topics that you would like for us to cover and discuss. So in the chat, give us some ideas on some things that maybe we haven't touched on or you'd like to learn more about. Put it in the chat for us. Send us some ideas, because we want you guys to kind of steer us where you would like us to go and what you would like to learn. And then what we do is we just kind of gather our resources and find out the subject matter experts to address your topics. And so give us your ideas, and if you think of something after this evening, send us an email, give us a call, and we'll put something together for April. But we do normally try to do these once a month. So April will be in full swing of turkey season. So that would be super awesome if for those of you who had an opportunity to get out and about in the woods, you can share your experiences with us. That would be really awesome. So I'd like to also open the floor up to any questions or things that we might not have addressed. If we can see you on the camera, you can raise your hand and we'll have you unmute. So I'd like to open the floor up to anybody at this time.
Can I add something real quick that I know we didn't cover?
You bet.
Not just in the roosting sites, but if you can look for turkey sign, and that would include their feces, their turkey tracks. If you see some of these out there in the dirt, that's a good area. Feathers, that means that they've, if there's feathers around there, that's usually a good roosting site. And especially if there's a lot of them, that means they're either coming down out of the trees or they're fighting right there. Turkey tracks, and I don't know if you guys know what turkey. I know that sounds gross, but I've got it on another phone. But turkey, can you guys see that? There's
Yes.
that's their poop. The one on this side, more right there, that's the male. I always say a J like a Jake, and that little beehive looking one is the hen. So, and a lot of times they'll turn kind of a white color. They're really green. If it's fresh and you see it green, that means they were just there, like literally. If it turns kind of white, that's still a good turkey sign. So, you're in a good area as far as sign goes. So I just wanted to point that out. Feathers, turkey tracks, and poop. It's a good sign.
No, that's awesome. And we did have another kind of question from Sarah about trying to pick up a mentor or buddy. What are some other events that anybody could recommend other than WeDo or these platforms? So even if any of you ladies that are on board with us this evening, if you're maybe a member of a group that would also foster some mentoring, we would love to hear about that. I know that Jessica tries to do hunting skills camps as well when we're not having to be under health orders. So be on the lookout from emails from the department also, as we're able to have group gatherings and educational opportunities, that we do have hunting camps or hunt camp experiences where some of them are more skills based and they're kind of well rounded, and you get to learn different types of techniques and shooting skills. And to where a year, well, it was almost 2 years ago now, I think it was 2019, or I don't even remember anymore, we had a ladies pheasant hunt. And so that was a really great opportunity to get newbies afield on their first pheasant hunt. So as we're able to schedule things, we send out e-blasts to everybody. So just make sure that all your contact information is updated so you can get these emails from us as we're able to host events. So, and then Jessica also put the Mule Deer Foundation does. Jess, do you want to kind of talk a little bit about that ladies group?
Sure. So we've touched on this before, so some of you may have heard this. The DOES is discovered the outdoors and encourage sportsmanship. It's the Mule Deer Foundation's ladies organization. And there's a Facebook page, and we've really tried to foster a mentee-mentor meeting ground there. I don't know that there's been a lot of action because I think you ladies don't follow through and you're shy. And so we really need somebody to be that brave person that says, hey, I want to go turkey hunting. Who wants to go with me? Or I want to go ice fishing, or I want to, get together. Right now with the COVID situation and the health orders and our restrictions that we're under with the department, ladies, it's really going to have to fall on you to take the initiative to be a little more outgoing and step outside of your comfort zone and start meeting up on these social media places and make a plan to go meet, because we can't foster that relationship for you in person. We can only do it right here. And so we need you to be brave. I know you've got it in you. And get out there and Helen Laddle just put in there in the chat, me. Her and I were chatting on the side about, possibly hooking up and going turkey hunting. And so what we need for you to do is to take that initiative and put yourself out there. It's a little bit like dating, maybe even a little bit scarier, because it's hunting and it's not something that women feel is second nature to as you do flirting. But we really need you to really take the initiative yourself. I mean, I would love it if I could say, hey, everybody come out next weekend. The department's going to hold this event. We're going to have some socializing. We're going to pattern some shotguns. Helen has said how many times that they're patterning shotguns this coming weekend down at Las Cruces at Butterfield. If you're in Cruces or somewhere close, hit her up. Go out there. Be brave. I'll tell you. Helen, what time are you guys doing that?
Between 8 and 9. They don't have to be there at 8. We're kind of going to go till 9 o'clock because, like I said, I know there's one lady that is destined to come from Albuquerque. So we'll get started. I don't know if she's coming the night before or not, but she expressed interest in coming the night before. So you're going to travel in, just allow your time, safe travel, no speeding, nothing, dangerous. So, we'll be out there. Normally we all meet at Cracker Barrel at like 7, but I think just given everything, the way that we're trying to get everybody out there between 8 and 9 o'clock at Butterfield Range, and we'll answer questions until everybody's comfortable, or until you're comfortable shooting your gun, or you're knowledgeable about your ammo that you're going to go purchase. If you need a turkey choke, the gun, like we will have guns. We'll have the 12 gauges, the 20 gauges. If you have your own, bring it. That's fine too, because you're going to be shooting that gun. If you've never shot one before and you want to come try it out, we encourage that as well. We'll have, your eyes and ears as far as ear protection and eye protection. yeah, we'll make sure, I mean, and we're going to be outdoors. Everybody will be, I think I may have about 10 ladies that are interested. I don't know if they're all going to make it, but, we'll all socially distance and make sure everybody's safe. So we'd love to have you come out.
So definitely take down Helen's information, and if it's something that you're interested in and maybe you just need to get out of town for a day, take a trip to sunny Las Cruces and give Helen a shout to see if she can fit you in. And we appreciate her, also following those protocols as well. So that's always really good to make sure of, especially in these times. So that way all you ladies can feel safe, knowing that she's taking those proper precautionary measures. So that's great. So thank you for that. So with that, I know we've kind of gone a little over, but we are here for you. So I don't want to have us close out the evening if we haven't addressed something for you ladies before we sign off. So is there anything else we can answer or address for you at this time?
And you guys are welcome to find me on Facebook, email me. I know she put that out there. I can, you guys can request to be added to the Women in the Outdoors, the group or the page. You can follow us on there. And I'm happy to answer anything you guys want. If anybody wants to talk, meet at one-on-one, I'm down for whatever to help you guys out. Or take you with me. Let's all go to
Tristan and Megan or Jessica, anything else you'd like to add for the session before we dismiss?
I'm just going to say thank you to everyone for joining us, and thanks to Helen. I know you have had a long day traveling, and thank you to your driver for getting you home safe. And we can let you out of your car now. I hope to see you in August, but thank you.
Thanks. I know, me too. I hope so. Hope so. And we want to see new faces and reoccurring faces, and I appreciate you guys so much for letting me come and talk turkey, because it's something I absolutely love, and you guys are amazing for doing this. I appreciate it so much.
Well, thank you so much, Helen. Thank you all. We couldn't host these events if we didn't have people to host too. So thank you all so much for your interest and your willingness to want to learn. And so kudos to all of you who are joining us. With that, we'll go ahead and sign off, but I thank you all. Have a great evening, and we look forward to seeing you guys in April. Be looking for any email blast for the next session we host in April. So thank you all and have a great evening. Thank you.